Now, I would have liked to start this video off by saying we picked up where we left off, but that's not the truth because a lot.
It's awesome.
Like a lot has happened to this truck since the last time I filmed anything, or anything but short clips. Was there a fire here at one point? I don't remember that. Besides the point. Anyways. Now those of you that were paying attention noticed that it was pushed in the shop by a skid steer. And that's because the reason that the truck is parked is because there is nothing left of the clutch, okay? I had a few too many good times, and the extra turbos make a few too many horsepowers for the already struggling stock clutch. And, well, that happened. So I probably could have drove it the whole summer if I was gentle on it, but, I mean, you're not going to be gentle on it. Now, she actually still runs and starts pretty darn good for me. So, it's surprising the way I drove this thing. See what I mean? Just perfect. I also put this bumper on here that I got off Marketplace. I mean, it only weighs about, I don't know, 250 pounds. It's just extra sacking out, already sacked out front end. But the next time I see a deer on the highway, I'm going to smash the throttle instead of the brake. And it's going to be a good time. So now, like most of my videos, this one's probably going to be all stretched out over the course of a couple months. The performance clutch I ordered only works with a ZF5, which I'm fine with, because this is a T19 4-speed. So we're just going to be pulling that out, clean the surfaces up, fix a couple oil leaks that would leak onto the clutch, which just definitely doesn't help the slippage. I'm going to start on it tomorrow, though, let this thing drip dry overnight in the shop, and then get to wrenching on her.
Tomorrow for sure.
There's a big old 7.0 on the front of this. I'm assuming that's a Dana 70. I don't know. Is that a good thing, bad thing? Sounds like a good thing to me. And yeah, is that my vice grips?
Why are they pinching this brake line? Now you gotta make sure you take this cover off. That goes over the flywheel, because you don't, and then you get all the bolts out of the transmission, and you're trying to pull it back, and it's catching here, and then you bend it and warp it, and I've done that too many times. Should be able to just wreck my dash a little, but it's just the way it is. I'm now at the point where I can take a couple bolts out and drop the trans, and you know, I could do this, but I don't really want to get hurt doing it on my own. Let's see if I can still do this YouTube movie magic stuff. Transmission. Oh, that's the T-case. Where's the transmission? There it is. Perfect. Now that that's out of the way, let's have a look at the clutch. Oh, there she goes. Wouldn't say there's much left on that one. I'll just load all the parts in the box and then keep scouring Marketplace till I find a ZF5. Then I'll pick the camera up again and we'll start reassembly.
One frozen wasteland later.
Well, folks, we're back, and I think I got all the parts figured out to get this project moving again. Maybe. So what I have in front of me here is an absolutely sacked out F250. There isn't one good body panel on this thing, but it is an IDI, and more importantly, it has a ZF5, which, I mean, could be blown up, but that sounds like a problem for future Alec to figure out, so current Alec needs to work on getting this thing pulled out. Dropped it in. So there's the piece we needed. I pulled the whole thing together, motor, transmission, then just left the transfer case behind. I'm not sure if that's the easiest way to do it, but worked good enough. Now we just got to split it from the engine and get it ready for the other truck. I cleaned the shop up, got that truck out of the way, put out in the bush. Now, twin turbo IDI is back in the shop, looking it over. I think we're going to put the new clutch like I originally planned. This is a stage 3, so it's super overkill, but there's no going back now. So throw her on there. ZF5, I'm pretty sure is ready to go. It looks in decent shape. I mean, there's some bad noises when I play around with the gears and turning the input shaft, but we'll figure that out later.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's probably enough threads. Find out if it's enough threads when I dump the clutch. Dry that oil off of there. Okay, clutch is all torqued up in there now. So, the reason we couldn't run the 4-speed with this clutch is because they just don't work. That's one of the main things you have to change over when you're doing a ZF5 swap. The clutches are different from the 4-speed to the ZF5. So, if I was just taking a good ZF5 that worked in one truck and putting it in this truck, I would take the clutch off the 7.3 IDI, put it on the 6.9 IDI, and then put the ZF5 on that. Okay, so this is the ZF5, this is the T19. Very similar, and so length from here to here is the same on both of them. The only main difference in the casings is mounting point. The mounting point on the ZF5 is an inch further backwards than the T19. But stuff like the 4-wheel drive, like you see this one, here, it's just got one bolt here and you put your lever. This bolt could just bolts in right here and it's the same distance to the back of the casing. It works out just fine. I'm going to be using the transfer case that came from this truck and just bolting it to the back of the ZF. They both interchange. And then I don't have to change my drive shafts, I don't change my U-joints. So I know it's kind of tough to see what I'm looking at here, but I'm looking at the frame of another F250 I got in the yard. See, this bolt hole is closer to the engine's over here. If I was putting a T19 in this truck, I'd put the crossmember bolted to this bolt hole. If I'm putting a 5-speed, I bolt to this one, right here. That's the main difference. It's just an inch back. So what we're gonna do on the 84 over there, the twin turbo IDI that's in the shop, is I'm gonna measure back an inch and drill a hole. Now I would have drilled it out, but I don't have a lot of patience, so yeah, it'll be fine. Okay, so there's the cross member in there. Just back an inch on each side. It's time to throw the transmission in there. Well, transmission's all bolted in there. Now, I just gotta see if I can make that cross member fit. Hold on a minute. For once, future Alec has something important to say. I said a few times now to drill the hole back an inch, and although that is what I did, the cross member almost didn't fit once the transmission was in. Ow! So if I had to do it again, I'd go more like an inch and a half back. Also, I'm using the ZF5 cross member and outer support brackets since it's easier than adapting the old ones to fit the new trans. Anyways, back to wrenching. I mean, what even is cross-threading? So this is the plate that goes in your cab there where your shifters come through, 4-wheel drive, and then your main. It's looking like the shift tower is going to line up for the hole, but the top of the transmission is touching right here. So, but you know, I always got a solution for something. While we're on the interior, might as well tackle the shifter. So this is the shifter for the ZF5, of course, but this is the shift boot off the arrow nose or whatever it is. And it, of course, doesn't fit the bull nose cab. So all we're going to do is take
these two bolts out, split the shifter, change the boot over, and there you go. We got a bullnose boot on the ZF5 shifter. Should fit up nice. Interiors all together, I mean, we're getting pretty close. Oh, that's stubborn. So as you would have just saw, I got the rear drive shaft in. Now I'm just topping the transmission up with fluid, and we should be good for a little test drive. Fire it up like she's ready to rumble. Oh yeah. Okay, so Alec is about to try driving the truck, but watch what happens when he presses the clutch in. Let's listen a little closer. So we have a rattling and grinding noise coming from the transmission that stops once the clutch is pressed and starts back up again once the clutch is released. So my initial thought was that I'd put the release bearing in wrong, but I started doing some research and I guess that noise is supposed to be normal. Since the ZF5 is intended for a dual mass flywheel and we put a single mass flywheel, from my understanding things are slightly out of balance or something's just slightly different. And that causes a thing on the internet known as gear rollover noise. Now from what I understand, gear rollover noise isn't that bad, but it's loud and it's annoying. Thankfully there are some ways to minimize it, such as adding 1 quart of oil to the transmission and turning the engine idle up to 900 RPM. Which is exactly what I did, and now the noise is still there, but it's much more tolerable. So now that's kind of sorted out, let's actually take it for a test drive. Low by check? Yep. What about this one? Yep. Oh yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Yep. This transmission feels pretty decent. I mean, this isn't my first drive, this is just the first drive with the camera. So. Clutch is in break-in period. It costs too much for me to just send it. I want to kind of do it properly this time. Go for a little highway run, maybe. About having overdrive. The motor right now is doing about 1500 RPM. This speedo's off. We're doing about 100 right now. I got 355 gearing in this truck. It should get half decent fuel economy too for dailying. So I'm not gonna complain about that. We'll see once I finish my fuel economy test, but hey, that's nice. So, long story short, the ZF5 swap was worth it. And the transmission's actually in surprisingly good shape. Aside from reverse. I mean, you only really need to go forwards anyways. I can get out and push when it's for reverse. Now, at the end of the last video, I said that I was going to build a motor for this thing, but since then, I've assessed the situation and realized that building an IDI isn't worth my money or my time. Hold on a second. Anyone else hear that? So this is a 12-valve Cummins. I'm just kidding. For now, a stock IDI that's worn right out with 2 GM8 turbos on it is good enough for me. I read all the comments, okay? I had a good laugh. I understand. You guys hate these turbos, okay? It's fine. Well, that's enough blabbing for this video, so I guess all I got left to say is thanks for watching. Whoa, hold on a second. To those of you guys that want to see a burnout, here's a clip of future Alec after the clutch decided he was ready to party.